Hi guys, Kim here. This video is about the May 15th blood moon eclipse, a flower moon. It's a total lunar eclipse with a very long duration of 5 hours and 19 minutes. So the blood moon eclipse on the 15th of May this year, I feel is a significant event, and I feel this is so because I think it might be a marker in this shift of perspective, and I'll explain why I think this is so. In Cystal-tyme's video, she goes into detail of how this full moon is associated to the story of the Minotaur and the labyrinth, suggesting that this whole realm is a labyrinth, and in order to get to where we need to go, that we have not only to find our way through the maze, but at the center of it all is a bull that we must fight in order to gain our freedom from this realm. We know that this realm's so deeply coded that the idea of bullfighting is rather ridiculous, but if we move towards a symbolic meaning behind the bullfighting, I suppose the essence of it would be facing the fear in a rather terrifying way, and imagine yourself being in a position whereby you were provoking a raving mad bull to attack you. That to me would be symbolic of reference to standing up against all fear and looking at it, facing it and provoking it. I feel that navigating the labyrinth could be representative of the amount of diversity in people's thoughts, ideas and expressions, and how each doorway through what we go through as individuals, through making our own choices and overcoming our fears, is us forging a particular unique path, only available to us as individuals, living our lives, who have certain experiences in order for us to do this individually, to overcome obstacles that are particular to us. So it's far more disparate than ever before. Plus, there's a lot of people assuming that they follow the path of thinking that this is the only way, that their way is the only way. Whereas I think that the labyrinth is symbolic for a concept that there is no one way in order for us to do this journey, that there are multiple twists and turns and choices to be made on our own individual journeys, and that there's a uniqueness of self is what we're actually trying to achieve here, that we're working towards forging our own paths and networks, like a tree planted in roots and reaching out to water and sustenance in order for the tree to grow. But at a grassroots level, in the David Bowie movie The Labyrinth, he depicts the journey of the soul and the different types of lessons that we may face in navigating our own labyrinths. At the beginning of the movie, you've got a depiction of someone living her life and being irritated by her baby brother, who she's babysitting, and he keeps crying, so she imagines that he's abducted by a goblin king in the book that she's been reading earlier. At a very symbolic level, this could be relating to the aspect of our reality where our soul needs to recognize the lie that the grass is always greener on the other side, and no sooner are we wishing for something else, but once it comes along, we're wishing things were back to the way they were before. So the Goblin King offers Sarah, that's the girl in the movies, that's the star of the movie, the baby back in exchange for her dreams, but she refuses. That could be symbolic for us being offered an easy way through, temptation maybe. There are points on our soul path where we're offered two ways, and it seems to me that one of these choices always negates self-responsibility, because the other way would require us to be brave, brazen, and face our fears. In the labyrinth maze, she has to overcome various obstacles in order to navigate the maze, and I might warn you that I could be spoiling the whole movie for you if you want to go off and watch it, but I'm going to go through and state the obvious steps, then note that this might be representative of the journey of the soul, so we can face our fears. There's also a clock ticking. One has to navigate this maze in a time frame to be successful. She meets a coward that constantly abandons her throughout the maze and runs off each time the going gets tough. She meets someone who deliberately steers her in the wrong direction. She meets a beast that's huge and scary, but it turns out to be a teddy bear once she frees him from being tied up. Her cowardly friend is given a peach that's told to give to Sarah, and once she eats the peach, she'll return to the beginning of the maze. She's harassed by a gang, but she kisses her cowardly friend, and they fall through into another obstacle, which is the flatulent swamp. Her huge scary friend creates a path through the swamp for her by placing stones in her path so she can jump over them. Then the group gets hungry, so her cowardly friend, who reappears, offers her the peach. So she eats a bit of the peach and she forgets her quest. Then she has a dream about a masquerade ball where the Goblin King declares his love for her, but she rejects him, and then she falls into a scrapyard. The woman in the scrapyard tries to brainwash her and distract her with things. Again, the scary monster saves her along with some of the others that they picked up along the way, and they find their way to the castle, and then they all help her. The guy who gave her the peach reappears and he helps her. She forgives him and he helps her access the mechanical gate to the castle. And then once she enters the castle, she advises her other friends that she's picked up along the way that she doesn't need them anymore, and she explains that she'll carry on her own. She'll call them if she needs them. She remembers the line, "You have no power over me," and recites it again and again to the Goblin King. She's reunited with her baby brother and returns home and realizes how important her Toby the baby was to her all along. Now, this might be pretty far-fetched as symbolic of what the energy of this total lunar eclipse might be, but if it's the journey of the individual who discovers nothing's real and carries on regardless, facing the obstacles as and when they are presented to her, I do feel that this is very relevant to the time that we're about to enter. As on the 24th of June, which is the 666 date, the planets will be lining up, but this time it will be a unique event, as there will be 7 planets, 7 major planets in a line. Now this event is unique in our time, as this many planets lining up has not occurred since AD 949, and that's a very long time ago. Who knows what the energy of this lineup might bring to us. So the period of time between the lunar eclipse and the planetary lineup is 40 days. And I feel that we have 40 days to navigate the labyrinth. What the lunar eclipse energy is asking us for is for us to look at our energy in ourselves is out of balance in our lives, and to bring that into balance before this period of time is done. To do this, we'll need to be authentic and truthful within ourselves, to be honest about what we're feeling, and then to hone in on what that feeling is and what the source of it is. The truth I'm speaking about comes from within, not sitting in judgment of others or blaming others for our misfortunes. It's about speaking your truth, being authentic to yourself, being your own guide, being open, being an inspiration to others by acts and deeds, and walk your talk. Could be wrong, but I got a feeling that this lineup of planets may well be something spectacular. It could be a new way forward for us. We are the ones that have to set the stage for this energy to be made manifest in our worlds. It may well be choice time. It may be dawning of the Aquarius, as Matt on Six Sun News points out. I'll link his video below. And then Aquarius has got 2 sides to it. One being an AI path. The group thought, the hive mind, to join together with the Borg. You don't have to think for yourself, it's all done for you. And then on the other side, being the path of free will, where you stand strong and be brave and face whatever's thrown at you and have no fear. I know I've talked about this before, but the album cover of Michael Jackson's Dangerous album shows you the depiction of the 2 sides. On one side, you've got the red, the pirates, the swashbuckling gang, the face of the dog, could be God reversed. And then on the other side, you've got the queen in purple sat there, the blue side. She has in her stomach the cogs of a machine making the humans in an egg sac. The AI, the Borg, the queen, the hive mind, the groupthink. Loads of symbology in this picture. Maybe it's telling us about the 2 sides and the choices that we've been making here. But there's also Michael Jackson's song, You're Just Another Part of Me, where he says, the planets are lining up, we're bringing brighter days. They're all waiting in line, waiting for you. Can't you see, just another part of me, another part of me. I honestly think that it's up to us to choose. Do we want somebody else to take care of the problems in this world that we face, or do we want to stand up and accept the responsibility for the reality that we're shaping and take part in making this world a better place to live in? I'm going to keep on digging with this one. Cystal-tyme did about 4 to 5 videos on it around November last year, especially on the 15th of May Lunar Eclipse. Plus, I've been listening to Heather Ensworth, which I've linked below, where she talks about our hearts needing to be weighed against the feather, which could be achieved through us being truly in alignment with our authentic selves. We've still got a couple of months before this big lineup happens, and I'd also like to explore the idea of this lineup being a portal, so I might do a follow-up video if I manage to dig up any more information on that. Anyway, if nothing else happens, it might just be a really nice tone that we hear all day, like listening to a symphony or something. I do want to ask you all one question, which is, do you know and acknowledge that you light up the world? Thanks for listening. Ta-ta for now.